being a legally blind mother? What is that like? And how does it affect your dynamic with your husband and son?
I always tell people you have to do what's best for you and what's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And so at first, obviously, I was so terrified because the specialist was like, if you ever want to have a kid, there is a high chance that you will lose more vision during pregnancy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was also mind blown about that when I heard that news, and then it actually happened to me. But anyways, moving forward, you get very scared. You're always scared. And then, but it's like, what are you going to do about that situation though? Like, I mean, I can't be scared being a mom, and I just take it day by day, and you got to do what's comfortable for you. So I like the fact that my son understands ever since he was young that my white cane is right by the door. There is nothing to be around the floor. Make sure you put things where it goes. Things have to be at a certain way. Not because I'm anxious, it's because, for example, the remote control or something, it needs to go back to where it goes. There is nothing.
Or else you won't find it.
Yeah. Or there's nothing to be around. The whole little toys on the floor. No, my house, you need to put your toys away, because if I step on that or and so on, it will hurt me and you don't know what can happen. And he has the understanding that mommy can't see well. So he helps when, he knows what he has to do. But there's little things, bumps here and there where there are times when I do hit him by accident. Like I'll bump into him because I'm not, I didn't realize
I've accidentally bumped into my nieces and nephews all at some point.
Time.
I have 2 nieces and 2 nephews.
Yes.
And all of them I've knocked over at some point when they were a little toddler.
Oh.
And they've all screamed and cried and
and you feel bad, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry.
And it's a terrible feeling.
It is a terrible feeling.
And then you try to look at them and they look confused and they're like, why'd you do that? And it's like, I didn't mean to.
You don't mean to, and it's like, and they're so young to really understand that I can't see well. And, there are times when they're like, well, you have to look. And I'm like, I did, buddy, but I didn't look down there. I was, doing the best I can. But, there's always bumps along the road. But I shouldn't say it gets easier, but I feel like I'm just doing the best I can and what's comfortable for me every day. And that's the way you want certain things around the house. We like to communicate. And I feel like communicating with my husband and my son a lot more about what is not, what's good for me, what's not good for me. So at least they know what you're feeling, what you need, right?
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make it, I'm just doing the best I can. Every day is not going to be easy. Every day is a different day. But as long as they have an understanding of what you need, what you're able to see, what's not good for you, and so on, I mean, that's all that really matters, right?
I was going to ask you, do you think that children are more accepting of...
Thank you for asking this.
Of disabilities than adults are?
I actually shared a lot more recently from my own personal experience that there's a lot more, my kid and children in general, I feel like they're more understanding, more compassionate than fucking adults. 100%.
Wow.
So I have a story that I'm going to tell you. So I was taking my son to his soccer class, and we took the bus. And we took the bus there, just me and him, just chilling. He was so excited to take the bus for the first time this year. And kids understand, and especially when you communicate with them about what mommy is going through, what I'm going through, and so on, they're able to understand. So we got on the bus. No one stood up for us. No one stood up, which is cool, whatever, because there's a few seats in the back. So we just worked along our way and kind of moved behind the bus. And
do people normally stand up?
Some people will stand up. Some people don't.
Yeah.
And I always say this to people where adults are sometimes very cruel. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit sometimes. And most of the time they don't. And I shouldn't say all the time, But sometimes, majority of the time, they don't give a shit about us. And it's a sad, sad world. So when we sat down, my son, he was so loud. He's like, Mommy, you're supposed to sit there. Because he saw the disability sign.
Yeah.
And he actually read it too, where these seats are reserved for so and so, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, don't worry about it. Yeah, he flat out so loud. He's like, Mommy, you're supposed to sit there.
Yeah.
And then still no one fucking got up, right? Which I said, Bronx, it's okay. We're sitting down already and we'll be fine. But that just shows the compassion in him, the understanding that those reserved seats are for people like us, for people that are older, pregnant women, who knows, right? He is able to understand now. Mm-hmm. He's 6 years old, but he's able to really understand. And when he called it out so loud on the bus, Mom, because my son's loud like me, like his personality is all me. He's like, Mommy, you're supposed to sit there. But no one got up. No one got up. And though for me is that as long as I'm raising a child, I'm raising him to be this way, to have the understanding that Mommy is this way. There's so many of us that are this way, and or other disabilities, that we need to be kind. We need to help them in any way, and just kind of have a better understanding that there's so many of us around the world, right? And to me, for him to say that, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
Because he knows that is for Mommy. Those seats are for Mommy and for people like us. But the adults never stood up, right?
It's unfortunate that, children with family members, or it kind of, what I've learned is it's kind of unfortunate that you have to know someone or have a disability yourself to kind of be empathetic.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And kind of aware of what the needs are and how to act around people. It's like, I think some people get terrified because they're not familiar with anyone who has, blindness or disability. So they kind of freeze up and just kind of don't say anything but if you have a friend or a loved one with something, it's like, it's not scary to you. It's just kind of unfortunate that disabilities tend to scare people, who want around them,
It scares people, but it also, I feel like the world just needs more of an understanding and more. This is why we're here, right? This is why we're sharing our story. And this is why there's so many of us that are really, truly advocating for our rights, for everything that we stand for, right?